stand for that flag. Alright, going to show you how to hook up a electric, well, it's electric fence, but I'm going to show you how to install a gate. I'll probably have to zoom in. Yeah, this is the electric gate. Basically what it is, alright, I only got part of the kit here because part of it's installed. Basically what it is a spring, pretty much. Why does my hat come loose all of a sudden? Cats. Man, you know? But anyway, speaking of cats, here comes one now. Hey, Nico. So anyway, what I'm going to do, because I got to be able to get in and out of my bee garden, my apiary. So, your choice is, you know, turn off the electric fence, obviously, and crawl under the wire. So, a gate is very simple to install. You can see, basically, it's a spring. I have another one that I'll show you. This is good up to 16 feet. I'm not sure what the distance here is. Haven't measured it. So anyway, you have to run a line. I probably should pull the camera off the tripod, make it easier. Anyway, this is your ground right here. The wires that you run from your transmitter, from your power supply, good English, right? In a way, you want it insulated, so if you're doing something, you don't accidentally touch it and get a joule. This one puts out 0.20 joules. It's good for 18 miles. I don't want to get into that because there's a hole that drops down. So anyway, this is basically about the gate. So, assuming you already came off your power, okay, positive, obviously that goes to your fence itself, okay. I have 2 wires ran so far, okay. When you install a gate, you're not going to have power. This will be electrified, okay. The actual gate, I'm assuming you can see, the actual gate itself will be powered, because you're attaching right here, so you have power here. But when you unhook this, you can do it live. You unhook this, you're not going to have any power, obviously, to your gate. So what you have to do to make sure you have power going around your entire perimeter is you have to run a jumper wire. Probably be easier if I actually take this thing off the tripod. It's hard for me to see because, you know, reflection, LCD rather. So anyway, here's your positive wire here coming off your unit. Negative wire. Okay, so anyway, you're going to bury this cable, okay? You're going to go down, bury it in the ground, come up over on this side, and feed both your wires. Obviously, you want to make sure everything's de-energized so you don't get knocked on your butt. You will feel it. So anyway, you can see to mount the gate, plastic clip. And what's nice about this clip is it's designed for these T-posts. It can be mounted like this. You can mount it over here on the side. I'll probably move it to the side, but that's here, no there. So anyway, you can see this is just plastic. So there's no ground. So this is live right now because we're attached down over there. So right now you have no power going here. So with your underground cable, obviously this feeds all the way through this metal. You hook it to this. You can see this is my feed. Okay, this is my top wire here. And I already have my my supply wire. Okay, will get spliced into here. I'm just going to use a U-bolt to hook these together. Obviously you have to skin insulation off of it. Then you run it down there, and then you run it over, and then up on the other one. So what I'm going to do is I'm not obviously going to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skin the wire, get these hooked up, and then obviously it'll be buried underground. over to that one. So anyway, what I'm going to show you is this bracket here. They clip on. You can see there's a plastic clip right here. Okay, that plastic clip is literally what holds this in place. And there's quite a bit of tension on this. So that way there, without killing the power, you undo your spring, okay, and you're good to go. Okay, like I say, I'll move this over to the side, so if you let go of it, it doesn't short. Well, it's not going to be on the ground anyway, so who cares? So anyway, it's very, very simple to hook up one of these gates. I'll show you what the package looks like too. So anyway, I'm going to run this wire, I'm going to get all this hooked up, and then I'll show you, because you don't really need to see me hooking up a bunch of wires. I'm just showing you how it's done. All right, this here is the split bolts that I use, okay? Made in USA. Who would have thought? Obviously, they sell these in different places. I mean, different sizes. These ones here are 16 through number 8. The wire I'm using is 12.5 gauge. Now you can say, oh, well, you know, I have some Romax laying around. You know, like regular Romax cable. I use these for twist ties. But anyway, you could use this. How long it'll last, I don't know. But you got to remember, these things, the wires that you use from your unit down to your wires of your fence, and you know, down on the ground and up in the other side. Regular Romax for residential, I believe, is 600 volts max. Okay, 600 volts. When you're hooking up an electric fence, you need wire that is rated at 20,000 volts. And you say, well, why do I gotta have special wire? Who gives a shit? It'll handle it because it's low amp. You know, it's not even a quarter amp can kill you. So it's very low amperage, so it's not gonna kill you. The reason being is the wires are specially designed to handle the higher voltage. So in other words, you hook it up, let's just say you use a 14 gauge, 12 gauge wire to hook all this up. Yeah, it'll work, okay? But when you take your voltage reading, you're going to have a drop in voltage, because that wire is not designed to carry that load. It's just like the wire here for these, this is a, I believe this is a stainless steel wire here, but it's steel. This wire here is a 12.5 gauge, okay? It's also steel. So you really want to use the correct wire when you're hooking this up. Don't get cheap. I mean, I suppose if you're doing like a small area, like a small garden area, and you're just trying to keep the deer out or whatever, or keep your pets in place or whatever, absolutely. You can get by with a 12 gauge wire, 14 gauge wire, if it's small. But you figure, I honestly don't know how big this is. But I go quite a ways that way. Then it goes at an angle, and then it goes from there. You can probably see it in the background. Way the hell down there to the flag memorial. And then from there, over, and then back up to here. So that's why you really should use the right wire that's designed to carry 20,000 volts. This wire here happens to be 30,000 volt rated, overkill. That's all they happen to have in stock when I ordered it. Tractor Supply, it was in stock. They might have had 20,000 rated, but hey, this was in stock. Did it online, boop, boop, boop. Went to the store, gave them the name, pulled it out of the locker, boom, in and out. So anyway, these are what those U-bolts look like, okay? And you pull them apart, okay? Now you can slip this over your wires and then put this back in. So I actually could show you me trying to do that without messing up. All right, give you an idea. And let me tell you, ground's uneven. It is, zoom in. Alrighty. Amazingly, that's all blurred. Who would have thought, right? Alright, so let me show you. Very simple. U-bolt over the first wire. your second wire. Now you got to remember these wires are pretty damn stiff. And if you notice on here, so you put it, so you put it back the right way. See how that's notched? So it's designed to pinch the wire. So just remember that when you put it back together, you do it the correct way. It'll work the other way, I'm sure, but do it the correct way. So, slip that on there. And of course it doesn't want to thread on properly. There we go. All right. It's a 1/2-inch wrench, the ones that I bought. Be a lot faster with a socket. Yep, there goes Calico. She's in the bee garden. So anyway, this is just to show you how easy it is to hook this up with a U-bolt. Yeah, I'll probably go get a ratchet. Be a lot quicker with a ratchet. Calico standing at my feet, you can't really see her. Probably getting There you go. Quick and simple. Now there is another type deal they use that you can use for these. It's a splicer. I have one somewhere. So I can show you what they look like. They're a little bit different here. Alright, well maybe I can't show you. Yeah, I can't show you. I'll find one. And then for your ground clamps, depending on what size your grounding rod is, you can see I'm using 3/8 to 1 inch rebar ground clamp. Those are for your clamps in the ground. They make a couple of different kinds you can use. Doesn't really matter which ones you use, as long as you get a good ground. And the whole purpose of the ground, okay, isn't necessarily to ground the system like you do in a house. It's basically so when a deer touches your wires, cow, horse, whatever, touches the wires, they complete the circuit to ground, okay? The ground has to take that circuit and send it back to your charger, to your energizer, and without grounding rods, they can touch it, but they're not going to really get zapped. So that's the whole idea of the grounding system. They recommend you use 3 grounding rods. I bought copper ones. They work a lot better. Put them 10 feet apart. But this isn't about that. It's about how to hook this up to your gate. All right, so let me pause this again. You know what? Get a shot of Calico laying there. She's helping me, of course. All right, I'll show you what the gate kit looks like. There's also a cutout switch. That's a really good idea to use. As far as I know, they don't make this that'll mount on a T-post, but the width, I can show you. The width of the I was gonna say the width of your screw holes here are almost wide enough to go onto a T-post. So you could, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use 2 clamps to feed through there with the 2 nuts and then bolt it to it. But anyway, this is pretty handy. So I have another wire to run, okay, along the bottom. So let's say, to keep out the rabbits also. So what that switch is good for, wintertime, you get a bunch of snow, the snow's up against your wires, and guess what? It's going to constantly show a short every time it triggers, you're going to wind up using a lot more juice, because every time it triggers, it's going to pull more amperage out of the battery. So anyway, that's good. So you can come out here, you can flip that off so it's no longer short. Now let's say you're a lazy ass, okay? You get lazy and you're like, well, you know what? Do I really want to go out there and weed whack around the entire perimeter? That would take a while. This is all done. Or do you want to go out and, okay, I got to spray vegetation killer. Once again, too little. I have to spread vegetation killer on the along the perimeter to keep the vegetation down. So anyway, if you get lazy, you flip that switch off. Anyway, this is what the kit looks like. Okay, gate kit. All right, you see it doesn't come with two. It comes with the spring, the handle, the two plastic. You know what? I can show you. So I have this all hooked up. I'll show you my jumper wires in a minute. Damn Chinese, man, they use good staples. Gotta give them that. Yeah, China. Okay. So here's your spring. Slinky, Slinky, a wonderful, wonderful toy. Slinky, Slinky, it's fun for a girl and a boy. Yay! But anyway, so this comes assembled like that. Then you also receive two of these clips that clip onto your post. And then here's your metal connector, handle connector, whatever you want to call it. All right, let me see if I can zoom in and show you how simple this is. We will scan the camera down. Alrighty. We'll have to zoom in. Okay, I think we're probably pretty good there. We'll lock everything in place. I don't know if I'm going to go above it. Yeah, I'm going to go above it rather than below it. Okay, so you should be good. So anyway, take your clip. And like I say, it'll mount all the way around. Now, if you notice, all right, see that little hole right there? Okay. If you put it on the front of the T-post, where these notches are, the ribs, I have to go way down here to show you. These ribs here that stick out, you have to make sure you line that up on that. Otherwise, you'll never get it on. Now, as far as the two sides, you can clip it either way. It does not make a difference which way you go. And I'll be honest with you, this can be a pain trying to get it on. Okay, I just want to make sure where I was at. So, channel locks. A lot easier with channel locks. Make sure you're lined up on your pin there. Alright, looks like I am. Alright, the first one went on a lot easier than that. That's because I'm on camera doing it. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, because I'm recording it. So obviously, because I'm recording it, it's going to be a lot harder to get it on there. There you go. I might have it, you can move it up and down to try to get it to clip properly. And there you go. And I have it, I just did that to show you how it is, because I'm not going to keep it on that side. So you can see, there, you can put it on either way, but they are a little bit difficult that way. So, anyway, I'm going to mount it here. Okay, I hope you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. Anyway, I'm going to mount it here so I'm straight across. I was just demonstrating you can mount it there. Now, usually you can get it back on, you can get it on these sides without having to use We'll cheat. Spend a lot of time. And I probably blocked it. Oh great, and I dropped my pin off of it too. Well, wonderful. Anyway, oh no, here it is. Okay. And can you see that? Let's hope so. And what I'm looking for is a little bag of goodies. You know, doing it on grass, try not to lose everything. And you can see basically how this goes together. Zooming out, yeah. So, you have 3 holes. Skinny side, you know, and this is fat or skinnier. I don't really, wouldn't think there's a right way and a wrong way. So anyway, you just slip this in here. Push your black pin in without tearing the whole thing off. Get too rambunctious. And then what you'll do is, if you notice, I left, you probably can't see, I'll bet you anything you can't see. Anyway, you see how I left slack in this? So what I'm going to do is just make a, you can use insulated wire if you don't want to take a chance. As far as I know, you can still see. Okay. Mosquitoes are starting to get a little rambunctious out here. Did I do that? Yeah. Oops. My bad. I reverse it. There we go. Okay. And give me a little bit more slack there, Chief. No. Bear with me. I want to make sure I'm leaving enough slack in it. Now, if you're worried about getting, probably blocking it. If you're worried about getting, zapped, if you brush up against this accidentally, then absolutely you could put another wire in here in your split bolt, put another wire here, insulated wire, and then run it up to here, and you don't have to worry about getting zapped. So you'll have to make sure you tighten these down really good. Tighten everything down. You don't have to like super torque it. You'll have to use a wrench on that. And then what I'll do is, you can see there's plenty there. I'm not going to short against anything. I've got a good enough gap. And you can always put another insulator here if you're don't want to take a chance. And then get your cutters. Cut off your excess. Now, we'll go to the other side, and I'll show you how to do that real quick. Let's pause this so we're not doing something dumb. Alright, I'm going to make an attempt to do this without, while I'm holding the camera, which is going to be idiotic. Okay. And they're like, why is he getting a picture of the sky? So let me pause it for a second instead of using the tripod, right? Okay, there you go. It is in. And this is your little pin. So all you do on this side is set your spring in there. Okay. Now how long these little plastic pins hold up is anybody's guess. I'll lubricate it. And I've got this one upside down, of course. Okay. Doesn't matter. Stretch that baby out. Hook it in. Alrighty. Some of the stuff I still have to tighten up. And there you go. That literally is how you do an electric gate, or gate and electric fence. Now your power comes, run through real quick. Power comes down, positive. Bam. U-bolt here. They make a inline splicer, galvanized. You can use that. I'm going to cover this with, there's electrical goop that you put on it. So this is brass, so you won't get corrosion. But anyway, I'll coat them anyway just because they're out in the weather. You don't really need to. Okay, bam. Power into this wire. Power into that line. Goes down, underground. Ignore this wire here. This is a temporary ground wire, so pay no mind. Just look at the thicker wire, the 12-2 wire. Comes over, goes up, clamped here, clamp there. So now the circuit's complete. So now you literally have a fence that goes all the way, well, back there somewhere. Anyway, so the fence goes all the way around, and then you can see it kind of disappears in there somewhere. There's some apiaries there, or not apiaries, but hives, and it goes over there. So anyway, you can see literally how simple it is to install an electric gate, wrong way, you know, a gate and an electric fence. So it's relatively simple. I tried to keep this short. I know I rattled on. Hit the little B in the bottom right hand corner, and to subscribe, hit the little notification bell. Give me a thumbs up, man. All it takes is a second. Boom, thumbs up, dude. But a lot of people that watch these videos aren't members of YouTube, and if you don't have a YouTube channel, you can't leave a thumbs up. So anyway, there you go. It's pretty simple. Really, I mean, nothing to it. And then energize your system. All right. All right, and grab a hold of it, and you'll know. No. In a way, the easiest way to see if your fence is working, if you don't have, they make an actual tester, believe it or not. I just use a multimeter, and I check the voltage from the hot side down. Yeah, I short it from any wire, doesn't matter which one is hot. And you short it down into the ground. You can touch it to your grounding rod if you so desire. No, grounding rod's over here. There's two of them there. And then there's another one back in there. So you can short it against that. Touch this wire, stick a probe in the ground, and it'll give a voltage reading. And basically, you want it under 400 volts. Yeah, my arm just brushed up against it and I got a little tingle. But anyway, you want it under 400 volts. This is like at a 0 would be like meaning you got a really perfect ground. I believe I have this down around 150 with 3 grounding rods, copper grounding rods. But I got to tidy up a few things. But anyway, that's how you put a gate in. Appreciate everybody watching. I haven't been on my YouTube channel in a couple of days. I think yesterday, early yesterday, last day before, whatever, I was up to 46,200 and something. So I had, you know, a lot of views, 89 subscribers. I can't quite hit that 90 mark, and then I'll complain because of the 100. Thanks for watching. God, I rattle on. Thanks for watching. All right, what I was talking about, the inline splicers for your wires. This is what that looks like. All right, and you can see how there's, I don't know how well you can see, but you can see how basically this part is down a little bit, so is that. So your wires, one wire on this side, one on the other side, and then when you tighten it, okay, those little gaps or ridges, whatever you want to say, that's what holds the wires from slipping. And then you tighten this up. You over torque these, they snap pretty easy. It's just galvanized. So anyway, what I'll do is mosquitoes are coming out, and So are all my bats. But anyway, what I'll do is to test the fence. I'm sure it's working, but to test it, you're supposed to go, this particular unit, you're supposed to go about 100 yards from the unit, short the fence. So generally, kill your power, go somewhere around your perimeter, use a piece of pipe, metal, anything that's metal to short the unit, either one of the wires, short it to the ground, then come back, turn on your power, then take a voltage reading, and you'll be able to, I'll show you how to do it. But anyway, then you'll take a voltage reading from one of your lines into the ground, or to the ground. Anyway, so it's pretty easy to test. And then obviously you want to kill the power before you go back and take it off, because you don't want to, you know. So anyway, I may or may not get a shot of me testing the system. Probably not. But I will get a shot of it when when I rate the unit. I'll get a shot of it. Yeah, it's Nico. She's been out here helping me all day. So anyway, I just appreciate everybody watching. Like, remember to hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner. Well, I know I'm not holding you right, sweetie, but I gotta wear a spicer in my hand. Usually I hold her like this. Okay? Yeah, it's usually how I hold her. But anyway, hit the little B in the bottom right-hand corner. Subscribe. You could keep it hidden, your subscription. You could keep it hidden so nobody knows you're subscribed. So that's not a problem. And anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Really, honestly do appreciate it.